Can you say that again? What was that? First you didn't poop, and now you poop too much.
First they didn't poop enough, and now they poop too much.
I would rather poop too much than not enough.
Right.
And with that being said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're live, and welcome to Drone Therapy.
It was colon therapy earlier, but
oh, I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Where am I getting the echo? Where am I?
Mine's muted.
It's not me, huh?
Wait a minute. Is it me?
My tubes is muted.
I'm not hearing it on my end.
Let me see.
But
well, I was soloing Mike. Let me do this. Let's see. No, it's not coming. I'm not hearing.
Hello?
Where's that? Hello? I don't know. Is it happening again?
Well, it probably was right at the beginning when.
No, it's doing it again. It's still doing it again. We're getting an echo. Echo.
Huh.
That's the fun part of being live.
Oh, boy.
The 12 people. Okay, I'm going to mute people one at a time and speak.
Okay.
I'm going to mute Mike first. I'm going to go Night Train muted. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Speak. Can we hear?
Hello.
No,
Caleb?
It's
nope,
not on
it's
my
not
end.
Mike. It's not Mike.
Not here? Anywhere?
Wait a minute.
You sound fine.
There's something here weird on me. Wait. You know what? I know what it is. You know what it is?
Oh, it's Bill.
Bill.
It's me.
It's
me.
Yes.
It's Bill.
It's me. Oh, my wife's
fault.
around behind me. My wife's around behind me going, it's you. It's nobody else. There's something going on.
Oh, you.
You're tripping, man. It's always me. You know why? Because I had it on over here and I'm like looking going.
Well,
Anyway, so welcome to colon therapy. I mean, drone therapy. We've decided that there's going to be a sub show later hosted by Angel called Colon Therapy because we were discussing, as of all things, colons before we went live. You know how it is. The squirrel came in early. Hello, everybody, and welcome to,
Yes.
As you can see, I even screwed up on the title. We're welcome to season and episode 4. The Filament Encounter. It should be season 7. I will fix that later. And you can see we've got Night Train here with us. The man, what I called him Migog. He is the Klingon commander, the legendary Klingon commander who has grown tired of the war and everything, and he just wants to fly FPV and create things with 3D printing, and he wanted to bring it to the planet Drone Therapia. And with that being said, Mike, glad to have you, buddy. Yay!
Going on,
So we're going to be talking about pretty much anything and everything. We'll probably even talk about colons later on as well. So we're going to talk about drones. We're going to talk about FPV, talk about 3D printing, so you can ask any questions. Hey, and let me go roll over here real quick to the chat, and we can say Itchy Sack came in first. And I will say this. Itchy Sack said he was first, and then he said that then it proves he has no life. No, it proves that you're an enthusiastic member of the community. And then he said, 3D printing and FPV show. Finally, Bill gets interesting. Where's Nemo when you need him? And I said, do you want a Nemo update? And he said, yes. How is he? To which I replied, whipped. And he said, he's completely given up 3D printing and FPV for a woman. And then, as you can see, Itchy Sack says, well, that's not good. Poor bastard. We've all been there. And then to which he replies, is it the woman or the woman parts? Because the parts have taken down many a man. To which a couple of steps later, Mark got involved here too. He wanted to.
Well, I mean, you can just print the parts now.
But look, and that pretty much said it. I explained that already. Okay, so anyway, and then he realized, and he said, a moment of silence for Nemo's FPV channel.
You're right, Caleb, man. Super Flex, Ninja Flex TPU is a wonderful thing.
So anyway. Glad to have everybody in the house. As I can see, we got Itchy Sack, we got Steven Drones, we got Bob Casey, we got Night Train, we got Steven Drones, we got Bob Casey, we got Angel, we got Ofars Drones, we got Bob Casey,
Johnny Drone Flyer,
we got Northside Hawk, Dominic, we got Silas Seeger in the house, Andrew's in the house. Johnny Drone Flyer, we got Barkley 107 Drones is in the house. Johnny Drone Flyer telling me, Bill, you're an idiot. You don't have an echo. I got it finally. I know it was me, like always. I had the damn.
No, he doesn't have an
replay
echo.
on
He just got an extra.
Sorry, I missed your live stream, Johnny. But no, it's a really good live stream. You can check it out. He's got it on the replay, I'm sure. Colon Therapy coming soon to a channel near you. Okay. Barkley. Will Mill City Sky. Will's in the house. Who have I missed? Anybody? Paul's in the house. I don't know how. I don't want to say Wedge and Big. Is that Wedge and Big? I want to say it properly. I don't want to say it improperly.
Wedge and Big.
Mr. Charles Galuski is also in the house. Lee McCready in the house. Keep going. I'm about there. I'm about caught up. Mr. Colley and his drone. But have you in the house, sir? Okay. We good? All right. And with that being said, let me go around the room really quick and say, so you can give everybody a quick update on so we won't do this at the end of the show. Everybody just say good night. So you can give us a quick update. Do you have anything upcoming on your channel, or what have you been going on? First, I'm going to go to Bob in case you want to talk about anything.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to restart Old Farts with Drones talk show, and we're going to try and concentrate on promoting the YouTube channels of the Old Farts, and we're going to see what happens there. But I kind of I've kind of experimented with open forum and having guests, and so we're going to see how that works. And I'm looking forward to starting that up again the first Wednesday of February, and at 12 noon Pacific, and that's 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 7 p.m. UTC.
Ah, very cool.
Right.
And let me. Anything else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Cool. Caleb, what's up with you?
I have no idea, man.
Nothing. Anything
Not too much.
FPV or 3D printing?
FTV, just been doing some testing. Just downloaded the micro drones liftoff simulator. I'm kind of curious if I can emulate my Cinewhoop with that. Speaking of FPV, so I'm going to be doing a little testing with that. Other than that, I've just been doing a lot of Nerf, a lot of that neural radiance field stuff.
Ah, very cool. Okay, Angel.
Well, trying to fly when you got a chance. Flew yesterday on Lake Union. I'll be, probably making a video tonight, and just doing my nutrition videos on the side. So colon therapy, we can definitely do it if you guys need. I usually help people out in that number 2 department. Number two
department. Oh. Got to keep things flowing here. I was talking to the guys before this. I know I've been reaching with the Star Trek format and then tying it into the drone idea. And so we got Mike here tonight to do the FPV thing, because he's the Klingon commander who has stolen FPV and 3D printing technology and brought it to Drone Therapia to share with us. But I'm running I'm running low. I really was trying to get Mikey from Philly Drone Life to come on, and I was going to make him the Harry Mudd character. Except it was going to be, Philly Mike. And
like the Battle of the Hairs, you know what I mean?
He was going to be the Harry Mudd. But you remember the Harry Mudd character, right? Because Kirk was always running into him and he was causing problems for him. But he was always kind of a lovable cuss, but, because he was like, well, So anyway, I was kind of, but Mikey's kind of hard to get tied down to doing that stuff. But I think I'm going to go back to probably the standard intros or something here in the next couple of weeks, because I'm running out of ideas to do stuff. Oh yes, yeah, that's next generation. There you go.
Messenger over here blowing up right now.
Yeah. So anyway, to start, let's see. I know nothing about what to bring up to start the show about FPV, so I'm basically going to turn it over to you, Mike, and you can turn off with whatever you might want to discuss.
I don't know. We can discuss it.
Here, if you want,
I'll
ask a
going on in
question.
FPV.
Yeah, ask a question. Cool.
Maybe I'll ask a question and then you can kind of jump into it.
Okay.
So, as someone who is not really into FPV, what exactly do you think it takes for someone to kind of get into it? Because for those I know, as people get older, there's a little bit of a motion sickness element that comes to it. Clearly, there's a comfortability thing. What do you think is a amount of time that it takes before people get comfortable trying to fly?
Usually FPV, once you put on the goggles, you either like it or you don't like it for the most part. I've known a lot of people that like it and still get some motion sickness, but they tend to overcome it usually by like sitting down, so that you just feel a little bit more stable. Your body reacts different and whatnot. But getting under the goggles is totally different, though. I mean, you could get onto a sim with no goggles on and fly all day and be like, oh, yeah, I love this thing. And then you put on a pair of goggles and that motion sickness and submergence that the goggles do is just, it's overwhelming for the mind.
Right. Well, I got the DJI original FPV, and I've only flown it once, and I put it up at like 400 feet, so I wasn't in danger of hitting anything, and trying to spin it around, and I didn't get motion sickness, so that was good. But then I know that there's 2 other modes you can put. I had it in the I guess the normal mode. I know
a lot of times the boxier goggles are a lot better for keeping away from motion sickness too. You're not quite as into the video. You feel like there's a little bit more space.
A little bit of a space, right?
React a little bit differently in the box goggle versus a regular tight goggle too.
So a couple of things that I want to interject in here real quick too is you can also, a lot of the box goggles now, they sell it where you can just take the front off and you can set it somewhere, so you don't have to have that quite full on immersion. And that helps with that a lot. The other thing is, aside from just taking some Dramamine, a lot of people actually find that if you just do it a lot, your brain will start picking up on it and that motion sickness just goes away. Also, if you're using something nicer like the new HD goggles and stuff like that, bump up that fidelity. The more frames per second that you get, the less motion sickness your brain interpolates.
It's the same way a pilot goes through things, I mean, with the G forces and everything, they just practice over and get their body accustomed to it. And
the one time that I tried on the DJI FPV, they had to tell me to quit moving my head. I was doing.
Yeah, you're flying with the drone.
Yeah, they leaned me up against a pillar and put these goggles on me and stay leaning on the pillar, and but I kept doing that.
Yeah, being stable does help. I mean, it keeps you from the feeling of even. You feel stable. If you're standing a lot of times, you don't even feel yourself, and you're like leaned over like this or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll catch that spot where your body just throws you a little bit.
Yeah.
Bob was doing the Stevie Wonder.
Mike, have you ever flown while in a car that's moving?
No, I haven't.
It's so bad.
The hardest thing that I've actually done. Have you ever tried flying and walking with the goggles on?
Yeah,
I've done that. Maya on High did it at one of the Korean competitions or whatever. She did it during a freestyle competition. I was like, that's cool. So I had to try it. Put the goggles on and try to walk while you're flying. It's a trip.
I just know I immediately went this way with the drone and the car went that way and my stomach went, whoa, no.
Aaron just did a video where he was spinning in a tire trying to fly while it was spinning.
Oh, jeez.
So what do you recommend would be a good place for someone to give this a go without being in danger of hitting anything, like a big field, and get used to the motions, or what is the best?
Yeah, smaller drones usually anymore. There's so many drones out anymore that you can get binding flies and whatnot. 3-inch drones are small. They're a little bit twitchier than a 5-inch drone, but you're not going to hurt as much. The parts are a little bit more forgiving because they're not as heavy and they don't pound as hard when you hit something. So smaller drones, but yeah, open areas and whatnot, get used to just kind of cruising around a little bit. When I started, we were going to a ball diamond and just doing laps around the ball diamonds and whatnot, trying to get used to actually being in the goggles and getting the control. And then back when I was living in a trailer park, so we started just doing laps around the trailer. Next thing you know, we're doing 35-mile-an-hour laps around the trailer, and there ain't but 10 feet in between each trailer. So
Wow.
it puts you into a smaller proximity. It hones your skills a little bit more. But yeah, we tried before we got too crazy in the going around the trailer. We go out to the field and find an open area, and ball diamonds or football field, and try to fly there and just fly around. You know. Get up, come down.
Yeah, just zigzag down and around. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, thank you for
Cool.
that.
Like you were saying, you get the little guys too that you just fly them around your house, Angel.
Well,
We
And
we
also-
had some of those, but then I think then this was before I bought like the Mavic Air 2, and then I said, forget these drones.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just bought one like that.
Indoor. This can be 1S or 2S, and then this is my original tiny whoop. This is a 1S brushed motors, not even brushless, and I can sit here in my chair and fly through the whole house. And then I got little gates set up over, just little circle gates or square gates that you can fly through. And so during the wintertime, that's what I've been flying a little bit here and there now.
Cool.
But yeah, it's small. I mean, you hit something, it bounces off, you pick it back up.
Right.
You barely ever end up replacing the props on those because they're whooped, so they're protected, so you're not breaking props very often or nothing. So they're cheap and easy to run.
Yeah, that's good.
Have anybody? I bought this today, a Ford DRC V5. Anybody have any experience with this?
Mm-mm.
It's a little toy to fly in the house,
Mm-mm.
and they say it'll bounce off the walls. And
Okay.
and I watched some guy do a video on it and said it was the best one to at least just try, that. So I'm gonna give it a try. It was
the little flying car one.
yeah.
At the one they're talking.
It was $23.
Yeah.
It was what?
$23. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
got
mean,
wheels on it so you can drive it around, and it's got props on it so you can fly it as well.
You gonna record
no, but I
some
did
footage,
buy a
Bob?
car too today. I bought an RC car, mainly so I can take it to the dog park and my dog will chase it.
There you go. Look at Bill's. There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
I know.
Will's got my original Tiny Hawk. This is a 3.
Here's the guy I learned on. The Inductrix, the first ever
Ooh,
commercial.
Blade
Of course, it's got the
Blade
unicorn motors in there, though, so it's a bit faster than normal.
Spectrum.
Huh.
That's full
The thing
spectrum,
about-
wasn't it, Caleb? Only spectrum that it came in? Yeah.
Yep. One of the first
Yeah, I
things
ended
I
up going
did.
away from that because I had my very first drone that I bought was an Eachine 250 Racer, and it came with the Fly Sky. So I ended up limited as to what I could play with back in that. I mean, you weren't putting a big old Fly Sky receiver in a tiny one very easily.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
had to
especially
buy a
like that.
board that was set up or whatever, or get the little orange box to plug in, and
Yep. I put oranges on almost everything that I flew for a while there.
well,
Little orange satellites. When I first got into the hobby, I bought something with a Spectrum receiver. And so I went to the hobby shop and I was like, oh, cool. Look how awesome this receiver or this transmitter looks. And
Yeah,
I spent like $400 on a DX6 or something.
mhm.
Then went home and found out that pretty much everybody uses Fly Sky and was like, oh, that's great.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only one that's playing Spectrum anymore pretty much is like your RC planes and whatnot are running Spectrum. Otherwise, not too many really run Spectrum anymore. Tiny Whoop used to be pretty much Spectrum too. They were solid about their boards that first came out were Spectrum only. So I ended up my Tiny Whoop. I ended up buying the Beta FPV board or whatever to put into it so that I could go FR Sky on it. So yeah.
So what we're talking about, by the way, you guys, is the 3 different transmitter receiver protocols. There's basically Fly Sky, Free Sky, and Spectrum. Spectrum is the Levi's. They're the name brand that's been around forever that spends like crazy money, and you get about the same for the $400 controller as you do for
Right.
$120 from the other guys. the Free Sky and Fly Sky, the reason that they're kind of so awesome, and even though they're so cheap, is because they're open
source. More people can control it. You can do more things with it as far as programming it, and more people can find ways to program different ways with it, make it smoother and faster and more efficient. That's where the ELRS is going nowadays too, is open source. ELRS is making it so multiple people can work on it and find better ways for it to work.
Yeah, it's getting big. The HD0 goggles are going good too.
Well, yeah, I haven't gone digital all the way. I got the DJI FPV drone, so I do have a couple air units in the drone. I got the Explorer 4-inch, and I put a DJI unit in that, and then I've got a 5-inch that I put a DJI unit in. But going back and forth between the DJI FPV to bind it, and then going back to the air units, each time you switch, you have to rebind the whole system right now with the whole goggles and stuff. So it's a pain in the butt. So I haven't changed my fleet over. I'm like, all right, I got good Orca analog goggles with a good receiver, you know. So
I was just having such a hard time getting good reception on my analog that I switched over and never looked back. I think it was basically my goggles, but I mean, who wants to go out and spend $700 on 3 different goggles to figure out which one works?
Right. Yep.
And then
yeah, I've been looking at the new O3s and whatnot, and then all the issues with the bind and switching back and forth. And if you do this, you ain't going to be able to go that way. I'm like, I'll just wait until everything's kind of tuned out there with that for a while before I go. I thought about getting another set of DJI O2, so I've got one for flying the DJI FPV and one for flying my analog or regular. Then it's another $600 for another pair of goggles. And how often do I use them? I already got a couple sets of pair. You know, I got Orcas and I got Fat Sharks, my original Fat Shark, you know, anniversary edition. So I don't know. It's more money.
Hey Sam, should we play taps for Nemo? Sam, should we play taps for Nemo since he's whipped out of 3D printing and FPV existence? I thought that was because you asked me if it was a body part. I said whipped, and I was like, thought that was pretty much self-explanatory. Sorry for interrupting. I'll go back to highlighting the chat. Sorry.
I do have a connection here. My brother-in-law, this Fry Sky, FR Sky, he is now their Southern California or one of their sales reps and goes around the country with that controller. Cool. So I haven't asked him to get me one yet. So
yeah, I started with Fly Sky originally. That was the E-Sheen. And then after that, I ended up going to FR Sky right away. I bought a QX7. I went through 3 of those. I've got my third one but still. And that's the QX7S. And then after that, I went to a Radio Master. Radio Master was multi-protocol, so it's got like 4 different protocols. It's got Fly Sky in there. I can go get the drones from Walmart and whatnot and bind it to the darn Radio Master. It's got so many protocols in it and capabilities.
That's what I need to actually get to. Right now, I'm flying with the Tango 2 because I picked up Crossfire stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these gimbals that's not a Hall gimbal.
Yeah, the Radio Master, I got the pro version, so it was the when it came out, it was the pro version. Now they've got all kinds of upgraded versions with the aluminum and all kinds of different stuff. The X2 or whatever, or MK2, I think it is. But yeah, the gimbals are a lot of the thing with the radios anymore. My QX7 has the regular gimbal.
I missed that completely.
QX7S is way better with the Hall gimbals.
Right. It makes a big difference when you're flying.
I love it.
I mean, so you've flown like the Air and Air 2S, Mavics, like some of that type of stuff.
I got a DJI Mini 2. I got a Phantom 4.
Right. So my biggest thing going from FPV to flying these guys is all of a sudden those gimbals, they snap into place. And you can't
it's like going back to Fly Sky.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, floppy sticks.
So I don't know. Have you seen the Scotty Makes stuff The extra things. Okay.
Yeah, the gimbal, the little balls and whatnot. The
Yeah.
grippy. Yep.
Yeah, it makes
I
it
just
so
bought
that it's
those.
like real
yeah.
sticks again.
There was somebody, I think there's a thing going around where they're sending them around so you can try the different grippy sticks. Somebody was doing that, I think, or something like that. I don't remember where. But it was somebody, they were like, I'm going to send them around so you can try out the different ones before you just purchase them because, you know.
Yeah.
Spend a
Well, I mean, we're
I
talking
bought a
about
set of these
talking about-
sticks for the DJI-RC, and I took them off right away. I mean, it was just way too slow and too tough. And, you know, I left their sticks in, which were taller than the original ones, but I took the sleeves off of them. It was just slowed me way too down. I'm going to keep trying it again, but they send
Did you
you
maybe have them tightened down too far?
What?
If you tighten
Yeah.
them down
The guys
really,
are
really
talking.
far, it gets too tight.
Tighten them down.
No, I'm saying they might have been too tight.
I might have tightened them too much. Okay.
Yeah, because they're meant to be a little bit customizable in that way. So if you have them kind of loose, they're supposed to be pretty loose, and then if you tighten them down, they get real tight.
So that's one of the things that got me into 3D printing was drones anyway. I wanted to start printing stuff for myself, but I mean, you can print little slip-ons and stuff for these too. So, I mean, you get a little bit more ball. This is for a little camera holder for FPV watch, so I can hold it on. But then, like, the Radio Master came with all kinds of prints. So we got crazy with this one. We got switch covers you can print for it, sides, the grip backs for it. Printed pretty much everything for it, you know? And then
Yeah, I mean, the
there's
Cinesticks are completely 3D printed.
to drop your gimbals and everything too. And
What do you put on that? Is that an antenna on the front of that? That plate?
this right here,
No, behind it.
this
Yeah.
is a crossfire antenna, a long
Oh.
range, short range, switchable. You know,
Okay.
Explain to him what Crossfire is.
Crossfire is basically like we're talking like your Fly Sky or your FR Sky or your Spectrum. Crossfire is basically a receiver protocol for longer range, and so it's basically going from 10 kilometer maximum range to 30 kilometer range type thing. You know what I mean, just using a different protocol.
Okay.
And a more reliable signal.
Yeah.
One of the things
Can
with
you
the
fly
FPV
an
is-
FPV 30 kilometers?
They do a FPV wings. I've seen some people do 30 kilometers and whatnot, like over in China and stuff like that. Like Trappy that actually invented TBS Crossfire. That's what they're doing testing and whatnot. That's how they're getting their saying 30 kilometers. And they've done it. So,
Wow.
Now, the bigger side of that is you will almost always lose video before you lose radio signal in that sense.
Yeah.
yeah, your video is way weaker than most of the radio signals that are out there, which is why DJI, you'll get out there and you'll still be able to control your DJI, even though you're getting breakup in your video, you're still getting your radio range.
Yeah.
So, you know, you always lose video way before. That's why analog was so nice. Is analog, you could get out there and you started getting sketchy. You get scraggly and, you know, staticky into your view.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, it's time to come back. DJI, when it first come back out for flying FPV with the air units, you would get out to that certain range and all of a sudden it would just drop. And you're like,
You lost it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, your video would just freeze.
yeah, it frees up and you lose signal and you'd be like, so if you didn't have return to home, you were pretty much it.
But they have return to home on FPV drones?
They're getting there. Betaflight just added the return to home feature, so you can do it there. But iNav has been doing it for quite some time now. As long as you've got a GPS box module onto your FPV quad and you have a barometer so that it can get your full altitude and everything else, you can pretty much do all that through iNav and whatnot. But Betaflight is where most of our programming for FPV quads commonly is. And they just added that feature. Just probably within the last 6 months, they've been working on that, where it's got actual return to home.
Huh. Well, that's gonna, the easier they make FPV, the more that's gonna get more and more people into it. When you're thinking about getting into it, and you got to, buy a soldering iron and put all this stuff together. It's a little intimidating, I think, for old farts. It is,
So this one's got the GPS module onto it, so you could do return to home if I program it. It's got
It's not an iNav.
DJI unit in it. This would be a Explorer 4.
Huh.
Colon therapy.
But yeah, I haven't put it on iNav. It's on beta flight right now, but I haven't even updated it to the new beta flight. So it should have return to home capability because it's got barometer, it's got stuff and everything. So
it knows where it starts off, and it knows where it is.
Yeah.
And it can get back to where.
And this one's the digital, so it's got DJI into it and everything else, range and everything. But this one right here will do about, they say about 9 to 10 minutes of flight, and they've had about a couple miles, these 3-4 miles even.
Yeah.
Some people, depending on where you are in your range, you're up higher than levels.
So in under 10 minutes, it can go out 2 miles and come back 2 miles
within that 10-minute time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Which drone is that?
This is the iFlight Explorer 4.
Okay. Nice. Do you have any weird camera setups?
Weird camera setups?
Yeah.
No, I usually run. I've got 2 sessions and a GoPro Hero 8, and then I just run my basic analog, and then the Heroes or the GoPros. Nothing crazy. I don't even really run ND filters for anything, because with FPV you're in the dark and light and back and forth, so you're better off using the GoPro's capabilities than the ND filters for the most part. I have run some of the little cheesy like stick-ons for the sessions and whatnot as ND filters to try to play around a little bit, but usually it's when I know I'm flying in the daytime route and sunny and whatnot, daytime.
Since my company sells some of the media, I've been really into the more film aspect of it lately. And I really, really, really want to get one of the head tracked camera tilts for the GoPro.
Well, the Avata's got the head tracking. That with the new GoPro or the new goggles and everything, it's supposed to have all that capability. So that was one of the things that interested me in the Avata, is that it has that head tracking. I've seen some pretty cool videos. And then the head tracking, like the Fat Shark goggles that I got, you could get the module and put it in there. It's got the extra bay for the head tracking, but then you got to get a camera set up for it that's got the servos onto it and everything on your FPV, and I never got into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really care about the sideways, but just the up and down, because the big problem with FPV when you're trying to film something is that you have to be flying straight at it because you're at a 45.
Yeah, you can't do any like a hover or a slow down and get that shot lower or anything.
Exactly. Right? And once you have that head tracking a little bit, you can fly up to something and then sit and pivot around it. And when you're doing like jet skis and things like that, it's just amazing footage.
I've seen a few pilots that are working on like freestyling with FPV and doing head tracking and whatnot. Some pretty crazy,
like they looking away and all of a sudden you feel like you're going backwards down a tree sideways, and you're like, he's actually going up. What the hell
is he? And then diving into weird holes. You're like, wait.
And then you have the 3D FPV pilots, which is just a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, where they're flying upside down.
Punch up, flip over, punch down, and keep going.
3D FPV, they take the throttle, and your base throttle, instead of way down at the bottom of your stick, is at the middle of your stick. So it's like your DJI, it's like that. So anything down, you're flying upside down. Anything up, you're flying normal.
Well, it's just that this is your 0. So down becomes...
It reverses the motors.
Literally thrusting down, and up is thrust up. So if you flip, if you're thrusting up and then you roll and then thrust down, now you're just going to go. And so they'll be doing like a Matty flip and then they flip upside down and just
They keep flying like, oh wait, you thought they were going to flip and then do something else, and no, they just keep going.
Wait. Hey, Bob.
Yeah,
We have a quiz question. What is a Matty flip?
I have no clue.
A Matty flip.
Is that
It's a very cool move, and his name's actually Matty. So
Matty created it, or
backwards,
yeah, his name's actually Matty.
backwards, flip over something or through something, going backwards. And it was Matty Stunts that actually made the trick, and he was like really good at it. He used low camera angles to help him, but he could go backwards. And instead of doing a power loop forward, he was doing power loops backwards. Basically.
backwards?
See, and Bob, you was talking about being intimidated by a soldering iron and stuff, but you hadn't. You've noticed that the guys have been talking about beta flight in chat. You haven't even got close to it till you plug it up and start worrying about UARTs and setting your PIDs and stuff.
Yep.
That's when you start getting intimidated.
Okay, wait, we got.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
can have a
more that they can take that part of it out of there, where people can just buy something and fly with it. I think that's
there's a lot of that going
AI
on
is trying to.
where it's almost a bind and fly type
Yeah,
setup, pretty much, where all you got to do is purchase it, throw a battery on it, plug a couple things so that it binds, and you're good to go. You know?
Avada.
yeah.
But
Avada, right?
It's not completely tuned in that way yet.
Now, Avada is not really a Cinewhoop. It's got limitations, but it's close. It is close.
A lot of people think that it's like, you know, okay, yeah, I can just buy that and I'll just slap this in there. And it's not always that easy. Sometimes it's like, oh, wait, okay, different receiver protocols and my radio not right. Yeah. My switches weren't set up the way that their switches, so now I got to go into beta flight and change my switches. And yeah, there's little things that you think it's going to be easy. It sounds easy, and you watch somebody in a video do a review. Oh yeah, it binds up like this, no problem. And you're like, oh okay, no problem. And then you get it, and you're like, oh wait, that's not how it. Wait, what am I doing? You know?
You get real smart. You order one that's custom made and tuned. And then you get it and you're like, this works all right. But they keep saying to try Betaflight 4.4. And then you update and you don't realize you deleted all the custom tune. And good luck.
And then, wait, now I upgraded to Betaflight 4 point something. And wait, I got all these old drones because I've been flying for years. Like my little tiny whoop. I tried to put this on Betaflight the other day. It's an F3 board. Nope. Ain't going to happen. There's no support for it anymore. so now I have to go find an old version of Betaflight in order to program it and check it and do things again. So, yeah, it's not all easy.
Throw some Project Bluebird on that sucker.
Yeah, I thought about it. Mockingbird or Bluebird. Yep. I think originally I was working on putting Mockingbird setup on it originally so that I could do acro with it a little bit. Being brush motors, it's tough, but there was originally the Mockingbird setup. You could do it and get brush motors to fly acro and whatnot. And there was something that I don't remember what it was, and I couldn't get the full Mockingbird onto it or something like that. So I never finished it. Then the outdoor season came up, and now I got 3 inchers and 4 inchers. And
this has got me interested.
Tons of drones.
So
the Defender 25, that looks good.
It does. It really looks. I'm like, man.
I mentioned an Avada clone on a channel last night, and they were like, "No, they're not cloning it." Yeah, they're pretty much cloning the Avada.
Yeah, but I mean, you're getting
all the stuff that's in the Avada is in this drone.
Except you're trading 25 minutes of flight time for 6.
Yeah, right.
Why would you want to do that?
So you don't have to log into DJI. Oh wait, you're still using DJI.
Is it about $100 difference?
Remote ID later, you're still gonna have to get that.
About $100 difference. Is that right?
Yeah.
About 100.
Well, they're just this isn't. This is more like a. I wouldn't call it an Avata clone, but it's kind of like similar to it without all the DJI stuff on it. And
Well,
like you said, it's
DJI
you only get,
air unit.
but they're putting like the I mean a 900 mile battery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes me wonder if how much weight could the thing hold to begin with.
So it's got a 550 mile battery times 1, or you can get the 900 Defender battery times 1. At 900 mile battery. So my regular FPV drone that I'm flying with, say my Cinema, my 3-inch Cinema, I'm flying like an 850 mile there, and you get like 3 minutes of flight time on a Cinema. You put a 1300, I might get about 6 minutes. But
So they have the Avata by itself.
Loses too, but
no controller, no batteries, just the Avata aircraft for $569 on Amazon. So it's $30 more for the Avata.
Yeah. And
What kind of controller?
And you get 18 minutes more flight time.
Yeah.
For $30.
For $30.
And DJI's guarantee.
Yep.
iFlight's not going to warranty like DJI is.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like just modding the Avata is the better way to go.
Right.
Put different motors on it. That's all you need to do.
Motors.
Just change the motors out.
That's what I've seen people doing. Yeah, and it looks like it works great.
Yeah.
I saw Mikey crashed his into a puddle last week. Philly drone line.
That's his wife will let him buy another one.
He out into a darn. He was out in a ball diamond type field playing around, and he wanted to see if he could get it to do that flip and spiral or whatever. And so he started doing some yaw spins, and he found the only puddle out there in the whole thing. It's soaking.
What?
Totally underwater in the puddle, dude.
We're gonna have to watch this video.
Is he talking about the Defender? He put a 1300 on the Defender. Is that what he's saying?
Captain Drone flew it with a 1300. Okay,
That's what I'm wondering.
Yep. So
I'd
that's
like to see what it do with
I'm
the 13.
basically flying my. That's the same thing I run on my regular quads. Is 1400, 3 or 4S or 1300. Yep.
I'm doing 1300 6S.
Is it that 3.5, Maddie? Let me see. I think I got it over here. Give me a sec.
Yes, Maddie, that's what happened. He was trying to get it to flip. Oh, this guy. The guy was with me. He's like, just do some hard yaw spins. Next thing you know, whoop, into the water it went.
Dr. Drones love yaw spins.
Yeah. Yeah,
Access
That's
actually
the
made me laugh so hard.
he's had now, though.
When everybody first got the Avatas and they were like, I don't understand, the Avata can't do like a triple flip over the tree. And I'm like, have you ever flown a Cinewhoop? Do you have any clue what you're...
You can do flips over the Cinewhoop. They're not pretty.
Has anybody taken the prop
Another
guards off the
clone?
Avata and tried it yet?
No, that's a mod.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the Access flying one.
Okay.
The one that Maddie was mentioning a minute ago.
That's got the Access flying motors already done, and basically the same type of frame that they've done with the iFlight version. The
That frame's
batteries
lighter.
are a little different. The batteries
like
are
it's-
DJI style.
You think it'll fly longer?
like gutted DJI with a different frame, basically. That's what this one is.
That's what I said.
Okay,
Do you think
so-
it'll fly longer?
It's supposed to have a little bit better flight time and longer flight time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
thinking.
question in terms of the Avata, I like I said, I got the original FPV. With this one, how durable is the prop protectors or whatever? They can take a little bit of a beating,
I've heard
or
they take a pretty good beating, but
Let me
they're
see. Let's
easy to
go
replace too. They're like
Axis
25
flying.
bucks. You can buy the replacement. Then it's just a matter of taking
Right.
it apart and doing it. But the taking it apart and doing it isn't such an easy task either. It's lots of little tiny thinking around screws, but it can be done.
Now, on the other hand, Angel, the reason we were all annoyed when this first happened is I've never broken one of these
Right?
because they bend. And you know
Flexible
what?
CPU,
They also
baby.
cost like $1 to print.
right. Yeah, like I said, I would totally go get the Avata.
Take whatever
but we have the
color
other
you
one.
want. You do the
There you
slam light version of
On
it.
the phone.
Slam
Where
Squirt.
is it?
I love them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you printed all that.
Yeah, all the colored stuff on here is all printed off my printer. All the green and purple, except for the props. The props
Yeah.
weren't. But yeah, all this.
Oh, okay. Wow.
All the mount.
Is it the precision of the props that you can't print props or too thin?
Props would be too fragile to print. They've tried doing it, and they're not balanced exactly when they try printing them. That's the biggest thing. They're not the balance. So it's better to have them molded.
A
Yeah.
foldable FPV drone, a long range foldable. Wow.
Huh. Wow.
What is the foot? Okay, there you go. That gives you a little bit of perspective.
Get down.
Yeah.
Oh, Manta. Look at that.
Manta
$4.99. Mid-range cinematic freestyle drone.
DJI air unit in it, and it still comes with a GoPro mount, so you can put your big old hero on top of that, even though you don't need it with the DJI because it has DVR recording.
Oh, and they all have the O3 air unit. Yeah. They're all 5% off right now. 5% off today.
But GoPro does give you an advantage of having like gyro flow and
yeah, the air unit doesn't touch this guy. Not the 11.
That is so wild. There, the 6-inch foldable mid long range. That's trippy. That's trippy. Now there's some little ones down here.
We've had foldable drones for a long time. It's just that the arms usually break so easy. It's not really worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
for
because you
long
guys
range,
don't
you're not going to put a long range in that kind of in danger anyway.
Well,
Usually
they're
there's
never
like
trying to put them in danger, period, Bill.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so this is going to probably seem like an ignorant question here, but the visual line of sight and people going up mountains with these little things, because I would say that with like a Mavic 3, it's so goddamn big.
We got lots of spotters. Yeah, that's it. Spotters.
Lots of spotters. So every 100 yards up the mountain, somebody's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have 40-40 vision, Angel.
40-40.
No,
Well,
your
I'm
answer
assuming you got
is
20-20 on the goggles, right?
Tough
You got
line to
20-20
have
on the goggles.
visual line of sight with the FPV, and it's a fight that we're still fighting with the FAA right now.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah. The real answer there is that basically every FPV pilot is breaking the law.
Yeah.
Basically, we have to have a spotter that can control the drone at any given time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no line of sight when you have goggles on. So
even though our vision is actually better through an FPV drone because we can turn and this and that. We have more sense of awareness of where our area is, as well as our vision, but still.
I mean, wouldn't you say that, the technology is so good that you can see?
There you go. Lloyd's telling you, he slammed it in the ground and nothing damaged.
That's what I said. Nice. That's good to know. Yeah.
You know me, I'm 5 minutes behind.
FAA's fighting us, and we're trying to get more clarification so that we can have the goggles and whatnot. Basically, that's why we're getting limited to like 100 feet or FRIAs and this and that. That's why they're
well, I've seen some videos where people start gunning up mountains, right? And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I'm like, well, I barely like the Mini 3 Pro. When that thing is like maybe 400 feet away, you've lost it. It's too tiny.
Yep. Yeah, the Mini 2 is the same way. I mean, it's real easy to lose.
Most of our long-range drones are actually harder to see.
Yeah.
Which one?
Most of the long-range drones are actually harder to see because we're trying to put as little carbon fiber on there as we can, make it as small as we can. Little arms, big motors.
Yeah, we're not worried about banging it into stuff and fragility so much as we are smoothness of flight and being able to get it out there with less weight.
Right.
Yep.
I've seen some. I mean, it looks beautiful. The footage is beautiful, but I'm like, there's no way in hell they can see.
Yeah, the farthest I've gone with an FPV drone was about a mile away.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. After that, I was always asked before, what does long range consist of? Anything I don't want to walk for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's long range. Anything I don't want to walk more.
How far do I want to walk? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We actually,
Well, and
just a couple
would
months
assume-
ago,
Good, Caleb. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think just a couple months ago, the first FAA certificate was issued for Vic Moss to do non-line of sight FPV training without a spotter. He's been pushing it for like a year and a half because he's like, I can't have a spotter every time I want to go in my yard and fly.
Yeah, there's also another section that they're trying to add in so that we have stipulation of doing some things under certain control limits and whatnot, under so many feet and this and that and parks and whatnot, because of us being FPV and not flying in those higher altitudes going up all the time. We're more in the lower altitudes flying around trees and stuff like that where the planes can't even go. So, you know, we should have less stipulation as far as some of those laws that they've got in place. But
well, that's my LAANC gripe all over again, right? I can only get 50-foot clearance, even though there's 150-foot towers that the planes would hit long before they hit me.
I can go to 400 feet, but that plane's flying at 200 feet over these darn crops all day long. I know he's not supposed to be going that far past that field in 200 feet. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's evolving. Obviously, you know, they're just lumping all the drones in one lump, and there's a drastic difference between, you know, putting up a Phantom or putting up a little Cinewhoop you just had in your hand there, you know, like that. I mean, just a monster difference of a set of rules that are necessary, you know. Yep.
Yeah.
But right now it's all for one.
You get hit by this, it's going to hurt. I mean,
oh yeah,
you get hit by this, it's going to hurt, but it's probably going to make you laugh, and you're like, oh wow, that little thing. You might get a scratch or two, depends on how it hits, but this right here is really going to hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one
this is
also going at about 90 miles an hour too, right?
Yeah, this is like 60, 70 mile an hour, and when it's up in the air, it's probably close to, I don't know, 800 grams, something like that. So almost, you know, almost a pound.
Put you in the hospital.
It's a little 6-inch, you know, and they make them bigger than this by far.
Wow.
And this little guy,
they're making beast class FPV, which is like a 13-inch, 14-inch prop and stuff like that, you know.
he looks like he won't hurt you, but anything that hits you at 115 miles per hour does hurt.
Yeah, right. It's going to leave it dead.
Wow.
That's my fast boy.
Wait a minute.
115? Yeah.
Is Ron okay? Ron is attempting to join.
Do I have audio?
No, we have audio. We have audio
video.
and 3 dancing dots, Ron.
Yeah,
That's his smile.
I'm on my laptop,
He's like-
my main computer. Well, it's my fault. I was doing some work on it, and I don't have it hooked up right, so I'm going to my laptop tonight.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know what the dots are about, but
We do hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
I got nothing to show anyway, so don't worry about it.
That's all right.
Yeah, thanks,
That's all right.
Ron. We're glad
We
to
like
have
seeing
you.
your face though, Ron.
Yes, we love seeing your bright and colorful face.
Let me disappear and try to fix it then.
All right. I'm going to go back and highlight chat. Continue to talk about FPV and 3D printing. Doing good.
American long range is much different than Canadian long range. That's you're right. It totally is, Marcel. We're so flat here that we don't have a lot of ranges like Marcel's guy. He's got a lot of mountain ranges where he gets to fly. He's one of those guys. Bob's like, oh man, or Angel's like, oh, it's so cool watching them go way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcel's one of those guys that does that all the time.
Oh.
He's lost a few drones doing it too.
I'll add
There's
him
a
if his
lot-
camera comes in.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of places around here too, but I haven't actually been allowed to pull the trigger on a long range yet.
Yeah.
Oh, she won't let you? Well,
No.
I understand. I mean, it's going to be something that you're going to have to need a cinematic purpose for. What is?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying
as
to
far as the
remember his
business
name.
goes, I can't find any way.
I'm trying to remember what
Not
is
yet,
his name.
anyways.
I got a buddy that does the long range stuff that's phenomenal. and I've forgotten his name. Short-term memory loss. Oh God.
Mike, do you do any business stuff, or is it all just recreational for you?
I have
It's
some
all recreational. I've
questions.
thought about getting the 107. I do have a remote pilot, 107, 101 or whatever, but I haven't completed it. But Maddie actually got it after I didn't complete it. I'm like, man, he was motivation to me. I got it out and I worked on it for about a week, and then I got back working again, and I just haven't got back to it. But
Yeah.
I'd like to. There's a lot of real estate around here that has asked me playing around because I'm a painter residential, so I'll, like on lunch breaks, I've got videos where I'll fly through the houses with the whoops and stuff like that, or I'll fly around the yards. And we've worked at some really nice houses for realtors and whatnot, where they've been like, "Oh man, can you get some pictures?" Yeah, but you can't use them.
Yeah.
Oh, so my boss's brother actually is a realtor, and he got a Phantom 4, and he thought he was going to make a bunch of money. And we got talking. I was like, you got to be 107 and this and that. And he started looking into it. He's like, oh shit. So he didn't do it.
When I first got my first drone, I've almost got 3 years in now, but I spent about 6 months after I got it. I spent like 2 weeks. I bought 2 books and I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and that was it. I took about 10 practice tests, and I started getting in the 90s, and one time I got 100 on a practice test. So I decided to go take it, and I got a 93. It was, so you can do it.
Halfway through on the remote pilot 101, I got about halfway through, and it just seemed like so much information. It was like going into overload on me. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's when it's really getting into the charts and all the metas and all that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff is
the hardest part.
Yeah.
And the metars, learning how to read the, you have to interpret this weather report they haven't used in 30 years, kind of thing.
How many numbers are you going to put in this thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all blending together.
You can take that line of code and paste that into something, and it'll give you English in like a nanosecond,
Yeah. I'm getting older too. My eyes are starting to get bad. I'm going to have to start getting glasses just to read it.
I just wanted to address.
It was not as difficult as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Let me mention something about this real quick. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere probably for a while. The guys know because I've shared it with them. And if you all remember, I've had some trouble a couple of years ago with my back. Hey, Ron made it in. Had trouble a couple of years ago with my back, and then COVID hit and everything. Well, because of all that, I kind of put it all off. Well, I've been going back now and checking on stuff. And of course, 2.5 years later, things have gotten worse. So first off, they're going to do some epidural shot straight into my spine. But the only thing that scares me about that is they're blocking the pain instead of fixing the pain. And I would rather them fix the pain instead of blocking the pain.
I've had 4 of the nerves in the back. They've got 2 nerves that come out of each disc. Mm-hmm. One's the smaller ones and one's a bigger disc. They've gone in and they've burned the ends of those smaller nerves for me too, because they were getting pinched off in my back. That was many years ago, but it's starting to get to the point where that's not helping either. So it's just something that puts things off again.
Well, the thing about what they're saying with me is they want to open my spine up and kind of like chisel the bone away, so that the cord has room to move.
Right.
It's only 90. Now 2.5 years ago it was 90%. Now it's 92%, which is 2%. Don't get me wrong. There's only an 8% failure rate. That's cool. But Ron made it in finally. Yes,
they haven't advanced a whole lot in that time period.
But if it works out to where I don't, yes, okay. Angel's getting ready to take off, so he's going to take off here in a few minutes. Wait a minute, let me get this back up. But I wanted to explain what was going on with me and why I'm not going anywhere. If I don't have to have surgery, my wife has not been home to her country in like 15, 17 years, something, a long time. So she's going to at least go home, try to go home for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Now, the chances of that are not great, but that's what's going to happen before I go anywhere. So,
But
you know,
traveling with your family situation there is pretty tough anyway, isn't it? It's quite a debacle to get everything gathered up and the people and everything else, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think about it is if I'm able, I'll stay here and work while she goes home and visits family, and then she'll come back. But the you know, with my health situation and stuff going on, we're not 100% sure if she's going to be able to go this year or not. Right. So we're trying to, if anything does happen, she's going somewhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here.
If y'all want to meet,
flying drones with Angel and Caleb.
Hey, we'll be coming to your house, flying in the backyard.
Seattle,
oh, you were talking about.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I was just telling Angel, anytime.
All right.
Yeah. And then that's what I said. So I'll be up here flying drones with Angel and Caleb. So, you know, that's how that'll go.
We're talking about starting the meetup again next month.
Sweet.
Maybe we do just have it at your house.
Well, I don't care, but I don't know where we would park. Let's see. Where could we go there? Where would we got to figure out somewhere? You start next week. We got to figure out a meeting place. We need to get the minds together.
I think we go to that area in Marysville again.
Oh, the park that we're not supposed to go to anyway. Or we could go to Renton where everybody else goes.
Or we can, I mean, if you guys want Mercer, go back to Mercer.
Yeah, Mercer would be great. That would be great for first.
I just did a nice flight there.
Yeah, well, Caleb left and we're talking about it. Okay, anyway, hopefully Caleb will be back in a little bit, because if you don't already know, Angel, Caleb, and I all live here in the wonderful Emerald City area, and we can all hook up every now and again and fly together. But that would be really cool if we could hook up on Mercer, but I think everybody's going there now. Even the other drone clubs going there. That's where their next meetup is.
It's probably, you know, I think the thing is that at least it's a little more scenic, because what is 60 acres going to give you? A flat area, you know.
What do you think of that, Caleb? We go. What's the park again? What's the name of the park?
Yeah.
Luther Burbank Park.
Yeah, Luther Burbank Park. And we've flown drones there. Lots of people. The other drone group is going to fly there too. So we could actually meet. And there's like picnic areas. There's all kinds of different stuff. What if there's anywhere
let her rip once you're so the only thing you got to do is you got to get the Lance approval, and then you're good to go.
The whose approval?
Lance, you know, get the
yeah.
I guy at the corner, you know.
I wonder, Lance,
Lance.
Like legal guys.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Lance
we could
romance. Yeah.
I wonder if we could like rent a picnic area or something. If anything's accessible like that.
The other day on Monday, with the fiance out there, and we sat on 2 picnic benches and just let her rip.
Okay.
But
that's a nice
we're not doing like you and I did. We're not going to do like you and I did.
Here, we can reserve like pavilions and whatnot at our little parks and whatnot.
Well, this one actually is kind of cool because it's not owned. It's actually owned by the community.
City of Mercer Island.
Yeah, and they don't have any drone rules. So it's kind of like they could tell the city of Seattle's like, eh. So it's really cool because everybody could kind of go. No, I mean, they don't, but they can. You'll see people fly there, you know?
Well, like I said, the one time I was playing with my daughter and somebody with the FPVs like zooming right over the playground. I didn't find that cool, but I think once you get it over the water, no one gives a care at all.
Yeah, as long I don't think it's cool to fly over people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we're flying at local parks and whatnot, if there's kids playing on toys and stuff, we usually stay right away from the toys. We don't even go over.
Yeah. I mean, this guy was flying like 25 feet over the playground going zoom, 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 zoom. And I was like, oh, like,
I float around the playgrounds and fast and whatnot, but not over the playgrounds and around the kids.
Did you look it up, Caleb?
Okay. I got to do some work here.
Yeah, it looks all right.
I got to do some work. So I want to wish you all a good night. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we will see y'all next time, all right?
Night, Angel.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Angel.
Okay.
We'll get some more work on that and figure that out.
Yep,
I think that would be a good place.
Yeah, totally. I think, you know, on the weekend or whatever, we can, you know, it's fun. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Night.
Okay.
Yeah, Angel and I both have already flown there, so we know that it's cool. They don't gripe at you about flying the drones there. Like we said, it's actually owned by Mercer Island, so they don't have to abide by the city's rules or anything like that. So they basically allow us to do it as long as we don't do anything stupid. So you know,
Yeah, they
Depends
just
on how
took
many we-
away one of my favorite parks out here.
Uh-oh.
It was called Equestrian Park. Had about 100 acres that you can actually back up and unload your horse and ride around in. And it was a legal drone place, you know, and the BLM manages part of the land, and they said no drones.
Well, you're gonna be scaring the horses and startling the
Yeah, I can see that. That's first when you said equestrian, that was the first thing I thought was they could probably get started.
Yeah. Yeah. I've flown there next to horses, you know. I mean, I haven't, you know, got close enough. I don't think they could hear them. But
The cool thing about where we're talking about, Alicia, is that it's there's just basically it's all powered boats. There's no sailboats in that area. And the cool thing, Caleb, we can go all the way down to the far end of the island, and you can go out past the tip of the island, and you can actually get the backside of the city and get the, like, you know, it's really cool. It'd be a cool place for, we could all, and like he was talking about, you can fly FPV there. The cool thing is you can, if we go out to the very edge where the old farm was and there's nobody there, that would be super cool because you can just rip right out over the water. You don't have to worry about anybody. But the rest of the time, you kind of, if it's really crowded and it's kind of, there's a lot of people that's busy, kind of you got to find your own little secluded spot. But, you know, it's I love the park, and I haven't been back in a while.
Yeah, it's a big park. Looks good.
go.
And I mean, there's a bunch of other parks and
Uh-oh, what happened?
Caleb lagged out.
Yeah.
Froze.
He froze.
Picture froze before his voice did.
They cut.
Yeah.
He's across the water from me. But the thing
about
about it
this is comment about the deer and cows, and my question to you know, Bob, our Bob, is that okay? The horses being like the drones, but what do the horses do? Like a helicopter rips across there about 500 feet high. Like at my beach, the lifeguards, they'll rip their lifeguard helicopters. They'll rip over the beach at, you know, 500 feet, but it could wake up the dead or whatever. It makes like a times more noise than my drone does. I mean, that's my theory. Is would the people have the horses call the police up to say, hey, a helicopter just flew over my horses?
Yeah.
No, they would never do that, but they would say a drone flew over.
Right.
The house we just moved from, we had like 3 horses in a corral out behind us and whatnot. And I'd fly my drones, my FPV ones. I'd fly those all casual around there, and they wouldn't really be bothered by it. I'd fly up that DJI FPV. That thing makes so
much noise.
They were like,
man, yeah, the DJI FPV is so loud.
I think Avata is really loud. I was shocked. I went out with Tom Dowling, and I stood next to that Avata taking off, and I was like shocked.
It's a higher pitch, windy.
Yeah.
But still, back to my point, and Avata at 50 feet in the air is silent compared to a helicopter at 500 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, so I've flown the Air 2S and the Autel Evo 2. I've flown both of those near cows and horses both. They don't care. As long as you're not doing jerky movements or going crazy, they just look at you and they go,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I ever had an animal react is
like a bird or something.
One time I was in the Caribbean flying a drone, and I was landing on the beach, and these beach dogs, or whatever. Dogs don't really bone. The drone was driving them crazy, whatever. They wouldn't let me land it. They wouldn't let me land it because they were. But finally, one of them got the propellers got him, and then the dog disappeared. Never saw him again. So I've never seen animals react much to my drone.
My dog barks when it takes off and barks when it lands, but he won't get close to it.
Right. Right.
Some dogs are hated by it. My dogs just move the other way. They just walk away. They're like, no.
I was out at some like barn race event and I powered up the drone and turned when I did so, and some dog ran right up to it and snatched at it right when the prop spun up. And yeah, same thing. He just kind of went, "Art,"
Flying over
and
my
walked away
buddy's
and never
house.
came back.
That's all good.
My second shameless product plug of the evening.
Oh, geez.
It's
Oh,
back.
Black
It's back. It's back.
Black Mountain
Pitch-
Dew.
Now, that's not the energy, right? That's the regular pitch
Now,
black.
that's the regular pitch black.
This show is sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Yes.
He had the energy on last week, right?
Yeah. But I actually found, because the only reason I bought the energy is because I couldn't find this yet.
I better not tell my kids that. You might-
And it's actually the original OG pitch black formula. It's really, I mean, it's not perfectly original, but it's as close, I guess, as they're going to get it.
What was so special about the original? I hate to.
It
Sound
has
ignorant.
like a really sharp Concord grape flavor, and then it's got kind of like a almost a lemon bite at the end of it.
Huh.
It's really good.
Grape with the
And
I
it
found
mixes well with vodka. Is that
rum.
Rum?
Rum.
Not spiced rum.
no?
No, not spiced rum, just regular white rum.
Hey, Bill, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but it's kind of a follow-up on a story that we covered almost a year ago. Did you see today that the Galileo satellites actually are fully functional now?
Yeah, it only took an extra year from the time we were talking about it.
But I wonder if you got your Mavic 3 out. I wonder if the all of a sudden the satellites would come in even faster and it would fly much better.
Was that the problem?
I think it would
Well,
fly.
the theory.
It flies great
We
anyway.
had a theory about a year ago that the Mavic 3 wasn't getting satellites quick enough because they replaced the Chinese satellite system with Galileo.
Where's the rum?
Huh.
Is that
Yeah,
correct, Bill?
right.
Yeah. And I was bitching because they had taken away the Galileo set. I mean the glass was it which satellite was it?
Chinese satellite system.
Which one?
I don't know what the Chinese system's called.
That was the
Oh.
one that they added.
Glasgow, isn't it?
And then the one that we lost was the Russian satellite.
Oh, we lost Russia. Okay, so sorry.
Yeah. And then we gained the Chinese satellite.
And the Galileo.
And then we were waiting. The Galileo was like the European Union.
EU. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was what we were waiting on. Because that
They
was the one
say
we
that
put all our.
they say they waited so long because the Galileo system's unhackable or whatever. It's bulletproof.
It's
Glownaze.
Yeah, we lost Glownaze.
Glownaze.
Yeah, Glownaze.
Glasnost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Russia's not that good these days.
Because I remember I had a 3D model of the Russian satellite because I remember making that trailer.
Now you got to get a 3D module of the Galileo satellite.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I think that's partially wrong. The reason that that's going on too is the way they've
I don't know.
set the PIDs and stuff in that drone. I mean, I know you can change the rates a little bit, but it's running way fast from what I would think it would run. Don't you all think that? I mean, like everybody's making a joke saying it's a Mad Hornet, and now they've given you a little bit of control over the rates. But I think that's the issue. I don't know if props are going to do it. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not
props are
really
gonna
an FPV guy, but all FPV drones sound loud to me, so it doesn't
It's
sound
also-
any worse to me than
None
any
of
other
them
FPV
sound
drone.
loud. They're just a higher spin motor.
Yeah, it's going to be the higher spin motor plus the fact that it's ducted.
Yep.
It's just going to be louder like that. Now, if you put some of the ducts that go above and below the props, like a thin carbon fiber instead of a whole duct, that would probably help it quiet down a little bit. But then, yeah, your other one is going to be just the bigger props, the slower spin with the more torque.
And they're usually like a bullnose type prop so that they catch more stability that way. So it creates more of an airfoil under it for stability. They're a wider tip on it, and that bull nose makes that louder sound as well.
But,
Yeah, but obviously, to the point you guys' point is, if you want to fly, what do you call it? You want to fly to download. You don't want anybody to hear you. You don't take the Avata with you, or the bigger DJI FPV
Take the
drone.
Mini too.
Yeah.
No, no, that's why I'm really hoping that these new goggles can work with the Mini 3 Pro.
You mean the goggles SE, Bob?
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens because I think that would be as much FPV fun as I think that would be great FPV fun.
Even these
And,
make
and the new controller too, the
Yeah.
new motion controller.
It's supposed to be. I'm
Wouldn't it
hoping
be here's what even crazier? What if it was compatible, both the new controller and the goggles, with the Mavic 3?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hopefully
that
we'll
be
find.
true?
Bill, hopefully we'll find out as soon as Chinese New Year's.
Mavic 3 cinematic. That'll
Yeah.
be the next one. It'll come with the motion controller and
Yeah,
I
the
just want
Chinese
somebody to
New
hack the
Year
motion
is
controller
at
and make it
least
compatible with anything.
3 weeks. In a lot of places, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm just now trying to buy stuff from China, and I'm having a hard time.
I've yet
Yeah.
to buy the motion controller or try the motion controller with the DJI.
You keep getting the message back. No
I
speaking
hear
in
it's pretty
English.
fun, though.
I haven't actually used it either, but I mean, the ability to just
Yeah. Just
Man,
yeah.
that'd be fun just to cruise around.
I used it for
It's
5
so much
minutes.
easier than flying
I
like
used
you
it
do
for 5 minutes to
FPV.
spin up a couple years ago, and I couldn't get the hang of it. But again,
Yeah.
I
I was out with Tom Dowling, and he loves it.
Yeah.
It's the only way he's flying the Avata.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were in this old ghost town kind of place outside of Las Vegas, and he was zipping up and down these old streets and around these old abandoned buildings with, and then he'd go up a mountain, with it. So it was.
I was going to say, I'll be honest from myself and from a social media standpoint, that's an interesting URL.
Yeah.
You get to see the last part of it. The sailing skinny dip. I was like, okay. Okay, well, so I'm sorry. I do those things. I create those awkward moments.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. But he sat down. He wanted to sit down and use the motion controller.
He got a little dizzy flying FPV.
And we sat in a lounge chair, a sling chair, normal outdoor chair
Right.
thing, and it was great.
Did you get to try it, Bob?
I didn't. It was brand new for him.
Right.
So he wasn't ready to put it in my hands yet, but I'm not sure I would have done it either.
Max keeps getting all those deals on those darn drones. I'm waiting for him to come up with another one of those motion controllers. Set me up with a deal for like $25 on one of them or something,
Wow.
Then I can
He
look it up
gets-
for a DJI FPV and try it out.
He gets those POSs, right?
Right. He buys them used all the time, like $50, and gets all the parts thrown in and this and that, He's a hookup brother up. Send me a motion controller, gee.
Huh.
$200 is just like, man, that's almost like buying the goggles now. I might as well just save up and got the goggles.
Yeah.
How much do you think these SE goggles will be?
It's a good question, Bob.
I don't know. I hope the compatibility a little bit more complete than they. It seemed like they're following
Let's see.
pace with compatibility with all this FPV stuff with DJI.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
I
to
mean,
the
they're like
website.
6 for the regular ones now, right? Isn't it like 600?
Yeah, it's like $600 for the
Google
regular one.
goggles too, or
$650 or something like that.
yeah.
$649.
Well,
Okay, that's for the goggles too, or the original goggles. Okay, $429 for V2s.
How about
$429 for
if I
V2s.
throw out a ballpark price of $329 for the goggles SE, Bob?
That's what
Oh.
sounds good. Sounds good.
I would jump
yeah,
on it.
they're not
Yeah.
going to have. They're going to take away like the side swipe onto it or something like that.
It's not going to have diopters for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
I heard you're still going to have buttons on the
different
side. You're just not
controls
going to
for
have
that
like the touch screen, but you're still going to have function.
It's basically going to be a lightened
right
version
here.
of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of
Yeah,
like
no
the
touch
RC and the RC Pro, a light version of the RC Pro, kind of.
Yeah.
I would try it. I would definitely
Would
try
you
it.
get the motion controller too, also, Bob?
If it was within reason, yeah, I would do. A couple $100.
How much is a
I'd
motion
try it.
controller
If
one,
Max
Bill?
can get me one for $25,
What
I'd
is
do
this
that.
motion mount system?
For the Avatar, it's like flying a flight simulator. There you go.
What is
Huh.
the Cinemotion mount system?
That's what I was curious about. I don't know what that is.
It's a mount that you put the controller in that you then attach to like a surface.
Like a suction cup
Oh,
type
that's
deal or
cool.
whatever, so that it
So you turn it into a
kind of
joystick.
holds it stable.
Like a joystick now. It's
Yep.
Bill,
More
that's
like
gonna
a
look like
flight
that
stick
old. That's gonna
for a
look like
simulator, yeah.
that old device that the astronaut made a couple years ago for the Phantoms.
The FT Aviator.
Yeah, that's gonna look like the Aviator.
But then I can't do a cartwheel
Ooh.
to make my drone roll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't flip it to make it do a somersault.
Yeah, it's like a 3-point mount that he can adjust about, you know, it's got suction cups on it, it's got arms on it. You can, yeah, so it's really versatile, it seems like.
Well, how much
Okay,
is the current?
okay.
How much is the current motion controller we already have now?
How much what?
How much is the current motion controller?
$200.
Yeah, $200, $199.
$200. So you think this new one will be more money or less money?
I heard it's supposed to be about the same price,
Okay.
but it's not going to be the compatibility back and forth, like, you know what I mean? Or it's more compatible. I'm not sure. There was something about compatibility with the newer one and the older one.
Maybe it only work with the camera drones.
It's not easy to fly a DJI or an all-tail drone from a sailboat or a regular boat for that matter. It's easy to take off, but it's hard to get them back.
Yeah, I wonder how that would affect the motion controller. Trying to be on a boat up and down with the waves while you're flying that thing.
Put it in attitude mode so you're not using GPS so that you can keep up with the
Right.
boat, and try to land quickly because the boat is moving. That's what people usually screw up.
Yeah,
Now,
drop
on
that
that
baby
motion
in.
controller, here's what I want. Put that motion controller into this. Put a trigger on the back where I can switch to the sticks. So I'm using the motion controller, and I hit a
Oh,
button, and now I
right,
got
right.
sticks for, because then I
Right.
can do a full roll for my tricks.
Yeah,
Right.
just the
And
gyro
then switch
over
right
the
back
controller,
to
basically.
easy flying.
Right.
That would be a genius idea.
That's all it would be is a gyro. They'd just have to add basically and the firmware to it.
Somebody
Yeah.
smart out there could probably 3D print with their printer and just take the other
Mhm.
controller and slap it in that sucker.
But like Mike said, it would be like he was talking about. You could run it completely outside the other one and just create a little bit of a linking
Yeah, just a plug-in
firmware,
box or
you know, to where they could coincide with each other. But
Mhm.
yeah, just basically a gyro in there to where, like
It'd
you
be the
said, where you
trigger.
could, yeah.
The trigger is going to be your issue. That's why you can't just stick it over here. Then you have to have your
all
hand
right.
over
Who's
here.
Who's going to be modifying the Xbox controller now?
Yeah.
It's the only one big enough.
Uh-oh.
Bluetooth wireless Xbox,
Bluetooth the Xbox controller.
yeah, yeah.
Little Xbox One is hit.
Y'all see who's here?
Welcome in,
Nice
Mr.
view.
Ken Heron.
Hello,
Ah.
sir. Hello, sir. He's getting ready for tomorrow, I would assume.
We must have
I
said
don't know,
DJI
on
too
tomorrow or
many times.
not?
No,
Is
we
Ken,
mentioned the
go back
Aviator, his
every
favorite,
week
his
or
favorite
every-
drone controller.
Was he on last week?
I think he was on last week, weren't you, Ken?
Okay, so it's an
Yeah.
off week. So he's
Off week,
chilling.
yeah.
He's chilling like a villain. Here's
Uh,
Tom.
Good deal. A Thursday night he can relax. Good.
Yeah, he'll be over at Tammy and Max's show, right? That'll start early tomorrow. It'll be the early show.
Oh, so
Yeah,
Ken's
that's right.
joining.
They do it early when he's off. Yeah.
Ken's joining Max and Tammy tomorrow. Okay.
I heard a rumor
Is
that
he-
Max was going to be doing after streams after
Next
Tammy.
week, he just said, yeah.
After streams? What do you mean after stream?
Yeah, like Tammy was going to go on early, and then Max was going to do a stream after Tammy's stream or something. I heard a rumor.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So it's going to be next week will be Ken, Max, or no, Tammy, then Max, right? That's what you're saying? So we're going to have Ken. We're going to have a Tammy
He can
sandwich.
sit on the ones that Ken's back.
So there's going to
Tammy
be
does the early stream.
Ken's going to be the top white layer, then Tammy's going to be in the middle, and then Max is the bottom,
Wow.
or the bottom of the hour, or bottom of the
Cream
show
puff
list.
cookie.
Well, no, Max is going to jump back in here and go back. What did you say? Nothing. It was just showbiz. I didn't mean anything by it. Ken's going to be on next Thursday. Yes. And then you're saying that next Thursday there's going to be like a double bill. Tammy first. So is he not going to appear on Tammy's show?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I was hearing it on their show, just kind of rumor. I don't know. Maybe it was Tammy just trying to work him into it or something. I don't know. Could be.
Oh, good.
Max needs to do a regular stream though.
Yeah, Tom, that was a very nice picture.
Start doing mine again.
He posted a really nice picture earlier. That was a super cool picture. I'm gonna go find it. Hang on a second. Can I show you a picture?
Yeah, we had a nice. I got hung out with them for a couple days after the drone meetup there in Florida.
I want to show this. This is a nice picture.
Gosh, so of course we're still here.
See?
Yeah,
That's a nice picture.
Nice.
oh, that's great, Tom. I know right where I turned him on to that spot.
Uh-oh.
That is, pardon?
That's your secret spot?
It's one of them. It's no longer secret. Tom now is
Uh-oh.
It's a close secret now.
Yeah, so now.
Unlike the actual Parthenon that Bob filmed, Ken
Yes.
went to Parthenon Park in Nashville and got booted.
Yes. Yeah.
Video tomorrow.
Coming up.
No plans to be on with the Tammy G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Wetlands Park. That was the from, it's called Old Silver Bowl Park, and you just kind of fly over into the waterway there. Yep. He's been exploiting it. Yes, that's good. That's good. Great spot.
That's going to be an interesting video, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Had to school a security guard. Nice.
Oh boy.
Those darn Paul Bart Vol cars.
Oh, I bet you that's fun.
Oh, it's getting juicier as it goes along.
We're all going to be watching this video
It's
tomorrow.
like, I don't have the authority, but I know the phone number.
I know somebody who does. Let me give him a call. He'll be here in 10 minutes.
Let
You
me
just
call
wait.
a friend.
Let me call a friend.
Yes.
Oh. Did it stop any drone flying by? Oh, whoa. Now he don't want to give away too much of the video. He wants us all to watch. He came in to tease us. This is the teaser.
That's
portion.
okay.
No spoilers.
This is the
He can be
teaser.
teased. I'm fine being teased.
Oh, it's getting personal now, folks.
uh,
And this is from Down Under.
Security guard, Grumpy's bail bonds. Head Ken Aaron. Oh, good.
That was Grumpy's new advertisement. Somebody
Yes.
sent him a picture. That was his new background.
Yes.
Grumpy's bail bond.
Okay, let me guess. The second people, they knew the rules.
Ken has flown at this Parthenon before in Nashville. I've watched him do it. Yeah, pretty crazy. And it was built supposedly like the original. And
Bob, didn't you
Yeah,
fly
I'd like
the
to
original
go-
Parthenon?
I did.
Go fly the hospital Ken flies.
Yeah,
And he didn't get kicked out either.
I
Ron.
get people almost every day asking me to show them that video. It's like, God.
And is it still on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, just like give him a link.
Yeah.
There, Charles.
All right, buddy, get some rest.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What's up, buddy?
Well, Chris.
Open the house.
Don't let that tornado.
Yes.
I tell you what, you lasso that tornado before it blows you away.
It sounded like they were getting hit. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and
Man,
Texas
weather.
got hit pretty hard last night.
Yeah. So
Everybody's just we're all just kind of like everybody's like okay, everybody's leaving in the chat. Does that mean we should leave now?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't
We've
have
out-
to.
well,
I actually
we've
don't have
outlived
to
our
leave
welcome
tonight,
there.
but we can go ahead and wind it up. Next week's going to be something probably not Star Trek unless Mikey calls, and then he'll be the Harry Mudd guy. But if you don't know who that is, you have a week to find out who Harry Mudd is, and as far as Star Trek lore is concerned. But I think Philly Mike would make a perfect Harry Mudd type character.
There you go.
He would be perfect, man. I mean, if you all ever get a chance, if you've not seen it, a classic Star Trek episode from TOS, the original series, and there's a couple of them that Harry's in. One's called Mudd's Women, and I'm trying to remember the other one.
Oh,
but anyway,
now I remember what you're talking about, Bill. I do remember now. Yeah.
and Mikey would make the perfect Harry Mudd type character.
Wow.
Don't you think? But
I
I email him, and then he'll talk back to me, and then I don't hear from him for a month. I don't know.
I'll try to reach out. Can I tell you a secret, Bill? I had a secret meetup with Mikey and Mickey this past weekend down at the beach.
And you put his Avada in the drink.
I didn't do that, but I did fly. Don't tell anybody, but I did fly the Avada for the first time.
No, he didn't. Mike, didn't you say that he put it in the water this weekend?
Yeah. Philly No Life put the Avada in the water.
Not really.
He was out flying around in a field.
Ron did it. It was Ron.
Yeah. That was a different video. He hit a puddle. Mike's right. He hit a puddle.
Yep, threw it right into a puddle.
Yes, anybody that's not already subscribed, it needs one more.
That was the video that came out this week.
Chris Hope, and the new video is out too. Chris Hope needs one more subscriber. Well, I get over there and subscribe, but I'm already a subscriber.
I am too, but
I might have one. Let me see. Is the other one? Let me switch. Let me try this one.
Let me make a new channel up and not just
make multiple email accounts.
Drone Therapy's already subscribed. Sorry, man. I will do this.
Ernie and the Rough Riders.
What's this? Oh, wait a minute. Caleb might not be subscribed. I didn't think about that. Hang on. Wait a minute. Caleb, here we go. Here goes. Boom. It's in the chat coming in.
There you go.
All right.
Let's see. Have you subscribed to him? He might be subscribed.
No.
Let's see.
There you go.
Right? Hey, all right. Here we go. Let's do it. I'm going to do a screen share. Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's do a
refresh.
Hang on. I got to do a screen share.
That's a milestone there.
199.99. Here we go. Ding, 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 ding.
Congratulations, Chris. Did you make it? Oh, yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Good job, Caleb.
Yeah.
Putting him over.
All right.
It just dawned on me. I was like, yeah, I know somebody that probably might be subscribed to him.
Cool.
And Caleb has an up and coming FPV channel that you can subscribe to, Chris.
Put him over
Awesome.
And
That's
you can
perfect.
always subscribe to Old Farts with Drones.
Is that the Facebook group or the YouTube, Bob?
YouTube is is just Old Farts with Drones, and Facebook is Old Farts with Drones, and the website is oldfartswithdrones.com. And
I hear you have free subscriptions going on this month, Bob.
That's a Caleb
free.
bump.
Yes. Get them while they last.
If you subscribe, you can watch his videos.
Yeah.
Chuck has started.
I don't understand. I got 400 subscribers and I have 11,000 on Facebook, you know?
It doesn't translate, does it? Yeah.
No.
Chuck has gotten a new job.
No, can I ask you a question before we move too far past?
I just want to say that Chuck got a new job, so that's why he's not, doing a whole lot of stuff, and I'm happy for Chuck. I also wanted to say that Dan, Drone Worship Sampson, had some surgery done again today, so thoughts and prayers for Dan again. And Ron, yes, go ahead.
Thanks for those notes, Bill. We were talking about Star Trek, the original series. Is there anywhere you can go stream episodes of the original Star Trek right now, Bill?
Paramount Plus.
Really?
Yeah, Paramount Plus has all of them.
All of them.
Yep. Even has the movies now. I think they had taken the movies off for a while because every now and again they'll like sell them, rent them out to Showtime or somebody like that for a couple of months, but I think they're all back home right now.
Bill,
But
Bill,
what's
what's your favorite Star Trek movie?
Ooh. Rathacon, still Rathacon.
Okay, that's the easy one. What's number 2?
I'm gonna say the Kelvin timeline Star Trek with that Abrams did.
Right.
I would be my second favorite.
And
I love
there's
how even though it's completely against lore, I
Yeah.
love how they built the Enterprise on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
now
a good
even Roddenberry was like, "You're not going to put together a warp engine on the planet." So, but you know, they're like in the Kelvin timeline, apparently that we're that risky. So, but
You know, Bill, there's a lot of love again for the original Star Trek movie, which didn't get all that much love in the old days.
I like the movie. I think they played with it too many times. You know, like first off, it was the orange and teal version, you know, and it was, or the extended director's cut, or the director's first thought of how he thought the first original vision of the movie should have been. You know, I was like, it was never Star Trek the motion picture. You know, leave it alone. It was like let's play with it again and throw it out again. Let's remaster it this time and put it on DVD. No. That's this time. You know, I liked it though. Yes, it was cool.
Yeah, because the original director actually I mean, he's dead now, but somewhere with the late 90s, early 2000s, he did do a lot of work on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, talk about Star Trek episodes.
I'm talking about Star Trek the motion. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I get this. Mark's trying to say he's bringing up an episode.
Yeah, he's breaking it down.
he broke it down to episodes.
Oh, I like the Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah, great episode. But to be honest with you, I love TOS, the original series. But I really love Strange New Worlds because to me, it's like they took TOS and they just redid, you know, it's like they refitted it. And I'm like, that's what it feels like to me. It's like, I got all bright new colors. I got bright new ships, you know, and I'm just like, the stuff that I was imagining when I was a kid watching TOS, I'm getting it now, you know?
Now, I get my titles confused. Is that the most original one?
The most recent series. Yes. Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
I like Discovery, but the last couple of seasons kind of went a little bit too far for me when they jumped from the past all the way into the future. And now we've jumped past everybody and everybody's like, who the hell are you? Oh, we're from the past, but we're in the future. What? Whatever.
Yeah,
Kirk figured out how to go back. Take your ass back.
Hey,
I liked it until they went to the future.
Grumpy nominates The Voyage Home as his favorite Star Trek movie.
The Whales?
Yeah, I think that's the Whales.
That's the Whales. Yeah. Whales is a good one. That's an awesome Star Trek film.
Yeah.
Yes. Which one was filmed in the Nevada desert? Oh, is this
Trivia?
What was 4? Was that the undiscovered country or whatever? 4? Was that the one that Shatner directed? I think that's Undiscovered Country.
No, I know Picard was in it. My wife got to photograph the.
That's Generations.
Generations, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe that was. Yeah, she got to photograph the premiere red carpet there.
Ooh, awesome!
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
They did it at the old
hashtag Vegas life.
Yes, Valley.
I used to think that my Shatner signatures were valuable. This is like a Gene Simmons signature nowadays.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. But you know, it's cool. I really wish that I had more. I've got a Spock doll, but I really wish that I had Nimoy's signature. I really want. Maybe somewhere down the road, I'll be able to get his signature. That somebody will sell me.
Signatures are fading out. It's selfies that are now the thing to have. You know,
I don't think it would make a good selfie with me and Leonard Nimoy right now.
You don't put it into a value type thing as far as collectibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm just the same from my personal thing. I would just like, I would like to purchase Leonard Nimoy's signature, you know, an actual one that's verified, that's his and everything. You know, I've got, like I said, I've got a canceled. I've actually got a canceled shuttlecraft stamp that's actually signed by Shatner. And I got a couple other little things. I've got one of the original, what was it called? Playtime or whatever phasers that they came back, that they had the toy kit from like,
Cool.
what was it? 71. Yeah. And then, but that's about all the memorabilia I've got. I used to have a Generations poster like Bob was saying, and it had Patrick Stewart and William Shatner's signature on it. And there was only like 100 of them, and they did it for QFC. And like I left it behind in Georgia when I came out here.
Oh.
Selfies can be AI now.
Right, Photoshop them.
Oh yeah.
Well, did y'all see? I turned Mike into a Klingon.
Right. I mean, that was a picture of me that was up there.
Yeah, it was really a picture of him, but I turned him into a Klingon.
Just wait. In 10 years, we're going to be moving back to Polaroids because it'll be the only thing you can verify is not AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Nice.
He was such a good guy, such a nice man. Everybody talks about what a good guy he was.
Nimoy?
Is Bill still alive? Bill Shatner still alive?
Yeah. Shatner's still alive. We've only got him and Takei left, man. Well, we got what's Chekhov's real name? Walter Koenig.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah, Koenig's still alive, Takei's still alive, and Shatner's still alive.
Yeah.
Here's my Star Trek memorabilia. I'm old enough that I watched episodes from the final season in 1969 when I was 9 years old. I watched them live. I mean, not repeats. I watched some of the ones from 69 live as a kid.
Right. And I was 4 in my crib, and my dad was watching it. There's a picture. It's so trippy. I think my grandmother has it, but I don't know where because she's in the nursing home. So I'd say my uncles have it. But there's a picture of me in the crib holding on to, you know, the old the ones with the string and shit, and I'm hanging on the side of it, and you can see the TV, and my dad's sitting in the chair, and he's like talking to me, and he's pointing at the TV, and Star Trek is on the TV. I'm 4, man, and I'm like, you know. And I think it was because the only reason I was in there was because I think I was raising hell, and he wanted to watch Star Trek. So the only way to make sure my ass was going to stay still was to put me in that pen and set me next to him and go. That's why he was pointing at the TV. Stay there, watch this. I can remember many times doing that. Stay there, watch this. So, but yeah, that was. I can still remember that. I don't know for sure. I say Granny does know where that picture is, though. I do think that my grandmother knows where that picture is. I need to ask her about that. But yeah, I started Star Trek when I was, and then the thing about it is I can still remember when I was about, I think it was like 10 maybe, and they started doing the reruns, and my dad would be like, do you know that I would put you in your crib? That's how I knew. And then he would pull out that picture and show me. I'd put you in your crib because you wouldn't stay still. The minute they'd start blowing something up, you'd be bouncing off the couch, and you'd be bouncing off this chair. You'd be like, oh, you know, and I was like, you know, so he had to put me in there in order to keep me calm while they were doing all that. Because everybody knows the original series, Kirk was always shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, and you know, I remember when the repeats first started, you know, in the 70s, when the original Star Trek. And the thing is, the 70s, they didn't do them in order. So you had to watch the repeats in no particular order.
I take that. I have some really killer Star Trek stamps that I probably will never send that came from this guy. And you talk about a Star Trek collection, like his office is decked out, man. I mean, decked out. That's awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Yeah, Chris.
You've been promoted to the bridge crew. You've been promoted to the bridge crew.
Now the money will start running in, Chris.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look out. Really?
Oh, that's something else. I can actually, it's cool. We'll go here in just a little bit. I would, that would have been cool. Really cool.
Huh. Wow. Yeah.
No, Dr. McCoy.
No McCoy.
Wait a minute. Yes, Takei and Koenig and Shatner. Anyway,
Takei, I followed Takei on Twitter. He's a big tweeter.
Turns
Yeah.
out it
well,
was.
him and Shatner hate each other. I mean,
Oh.
they despise each other.
Oh boy.
They make, especially here recently, they've just the gloves are off. You know, it's just the gloves are off. We're gonna talk trash, but yeah. Anyway,
That's because they're all old farts, and we don't care.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we don't.
They qualify to join old farts with drones.
Yes. That is, yeah, you know, no reason to keep any gloves on.
Right. That's the reason we have the cage and the reason that we have the menagerie. The cage is the original pilot that was shot, and it had Christopher Pike in it, and that was the way it was done.
Yeah.
But that was not the original one. Was who's wanting to bail? Oh yeah, Caleb. Hey, perfectly fine, dude. Caleb's getting ready to take off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Caleb.
Right.
Hey, Caleb.
Like,
Take off. Hey, it was nice talking to you, though, Mike.
Yeah. You
Good
can
meeting you in face to face. And wonderful show, guys. Have a good night. I'll talk to y'all
see you
later.
next time.
Yep, have a good
Good
one.
night.
We're doing the old fart talk anyway.
That's right. Good
I,
deal.
I was gonna go, but I want to hear the first Star Trek episode before I leave.
Well, it was the one I want to think it was. Is it the one where? What is it? Is it
You
the
have
one
Google
where?
in front of you there?
Well, no, I'm not going to Google it. I'm trying to remember if it was one where Gary Collins
That's not
became
old
this.
school, Bob. You can't.
I'm trying. It's not popping into my head, but is it the one where Gary Collins became the super being? Because there's a new.
Maybe.
He's actually still alive.
Wow.
He's actually still alive, and in the new Star Trek comic, they explain to you that we as a race evolve.
Wow.
And we basically become gods. Ooh, very nice. But we basically become gods like Gary, who did in that episode. We all evolve, but instead of it being one at a time, we all just rise to that level at the same time. So basically, there's nobody that's stronger than anybody else. There's nobody that's weaker than anybody else, and everybody can provide from themselves instantly. So you can provide yourself sustenance, you can provide yourself joy, whatever, just by snapping your fingers. You don't have to rely on anybody else. But that would have been
Sounds like Buddhism to me.
anyway. But yeah, it's just basically saying that the human species evolves to a point beyond a Q. Is that we evolve? We're like Q was kind of, what was it, selfish and was almost self-serving. We become, I don't know, perfect entities was the way they were alluding to it. It doesn't say that we definitely get there, but it kind of hints that that's what we become. Anyway, interesting idea, huh? Oh, let me see. Hang on, let me see.
Okay, I got to cut out too, guys.
All right, yes, and everybody. I'm gonna like Ron's. Yeah, thank you, Bob. Cool. I was gonna say Ron's gonna try to reach out to Mike and see if he can get in touch with him.
I'll try to get him on the phone tomorrow.
Well, there may be something else that has to do with it, and if that's what it is,
Well,
that's
I'll find
okay
out
too.
one way or the other.
But anyway, with that being said, I want to talk to Ron for a second before he takes off, and I'll holler at Reich. I'm going to tell Mike. I'm
Hey,
going to tell
Bill, real
everybody.
fast. The first
What?
episode, season 1, episode 1 was the man trap.
The man trap. Okay,
It
that was
It doesn't mention.
I think that's the
doesn't
chickie
mention
with the
anybody being
sucky
a
things
super
on her
being.
hands. She had it was like a
Assault
funky,
by a creature which assumed the shape and form of
And-
anyone he chooses.
and it would suck the salt out of people.
Yeah,
It had
you got it.
it would
You
suck
got
the
it.
salt out of people. Anyway,
got it.
so yeah, but there's an episode where Gary Collins, who happens to be James Kirk's buddy that went through the academy with him together, he and Sally Kellerman. Sally Kellerman is in the episode.
Hot Left Houlihan for the movie?
Yes, Sally Kellerman, and she's a psychiatrist, but they have really high ESP rankings from Starfleet,
Okay.
and so they go through this this light or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And Gary gets there first because his level is higher. So he reaches God status faster than she does. But she eventually does by him anointing her basically with it. Wait, there's the man is alive. The man is alive.
Much love.
We were
and
talking
prayers, brother.
about you.
Hope you're healing well.
Yep, we were talking. Said give
He
you
must have
healing
heard you,
thought.
Bill.
We were talking about you earlier. Are you dating yourself? I don't understand. I have a really hot Filipino wife that I have a really hot Filipino wife that hates Star Trek. I mean, she hates Star Trek, so I have to sneak and watch Star Trek at like night when she's asleep. She'll wake up and she'll go like, "Oh, you watching Star Trek?" And I'll be like, petting her head, "Go back to sleep, baby. Go back to sleep."
You only guy gets in trouble for watching Star Trek.
No, I don't get in trouble. She's because you don't understand. Like, here's my excuse. Like, she'll get on and she go, "Didn't you watch this episode just like 2 weeks ago? And then didn't you watch the same episode like 2 weeks before that?" And I go, "Easter eggs." Pistachio. Actually, no, I made a Watergate cake for my son's birthday, which happens to be a pistachio cake. And I had to go through the explanation because my son ate it and he was like, "Oh my God, you could sell this." And I was like, "Dude, the recipe's like old, like years and years old." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's called a Watergate cake. It's actually it's a pistachio cake that was named that way because it was created during when Nixon was going through all this shit, And I said, and it even has, get this, impeachment frosting. So anyway, that's
war.
He was like, you need to sell this, And I was like, anybody can make it. But anyway, so with that being said, I will say we'll come back next week and we'll talk about drones. We'll talk about maybe Star Trek. We might even have a Harry Mudd episode. I might have one more Star Trek. It just depends on if Ron can get a hold of him or not. So with that being said, live long and prosper.
Enjoy.
We will see you next week.